everyone. Welcome back to Joint Venture Marketing Mastery. I am Andy Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us and being back with us again today for this amazing event. We are talking with some really amazing, incredible entrepreneurs during this event who are sharing their proven systems and their strategies to building a profitable online business utilizing joint ventures. And in this session, we're going to specifically dive into the importance of authenticity. This is such a crucial key when it comes to joint venture marketing. And the person here to dive into this topic with us is none other than Jesse Eker. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, what's going on, Andy?
Well, just sitting here talking to you.
Yes, I love it. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks so much for being here. I want to tell everyone a little bit about you before we dive in. So, Jesse, actually using the principles of his father, T. Harv Eker, taught him. He was able to create his first $1 million business when he was just 25. Understanding that he could create his future in whatever way that he wanted, Jesse decided he would move to California and start working online. And after 7 years of learning really the ins and outs and ups and downs of digital marketing, he started Harv Eker International with his dad. And Jesse is known for his high levels of integrity and his inherent ability to conceptualize and execute really complex marketing automation systems within his company. And Harv Eker International has today over 40,000 customers and continues to grow day by day. So Jesse, I know that when you started Harv Eker International with your dad, you actually took it from 0 to 4 million in just 2.5 years. So could you share a little bit about how in the world did you do this?
That was a great intro, by the way. So when we started the business, the most important thing that we do is, follow our own advice. Like, what is the way that we're going to really succeed at the fastest level possible? And one of the things that we actually teach our students is that if you want to be successful, you need to model, study, and learn from people who are in the position that you want to be in. So we found and looked across the industry, people that we wanted to model, and we took bits and pieces from them. And we said, this is a great company. We love what they're doing here. We love what we did there. And we really took into consideration what they were doing and really started to model what they were doing with our own twist. Then it came down to, okay, this is the vision of what we want to do. And so we created that vision, and then we just did which we teach our students is just basically the business fundamentals of creating a funnel, one specific funnel for our students to be able to go into and end up buying something. And one of the things that we also really focused on was, focus on one strategy and one channel. And I think that's like one of the things that we see a big challenge with our students specifically is like there's this big dream of like multiple streams of income. People want to like have all this income coming in, but they forget that, one of the most important parts to having multiple streams of income is making one thing work and then systemize it and then start to scale out and duplicate what you're doing in different ways. And I think when people are getting into business, one of the reasons why they take so long is because they're dabbling in all these different areas, and they tend to dabble, and unfortunately dabblers don't succeed. People who master stuff succeed. So what we did is we said, okay, we really want to do really good in webinars specifically, and we really want to do good on Facebook ads. So what we did was we created a webinar and we used it for Facebook ads, and we started to get really, really good at that. And now we have 6 webinars, 6 programs. We spend a lot of money on Facebook ads, and from the residual of that, we get to meet a lot of great people in joint ventures, and it's just kind of expanded from there. So those are some, fundamental ways. The other way that I think is probably obvious to a lot of people is, and I'm not, shying away from saying that this was one of the biggest reasons why we grew, is because T. Harv Eker himself has a huge brand. I mean, he has almost 2 million students worldwide. He semi-retired in 2010, so he kind of went off the grid. And basically, we used his brand to take his great content that he has and put it online. So that obviously gave us a nice, bump into what we did and got us into the market fast. But when you're in the market, you still have to do really, really good stuff. You still have to put out really quality products, and really have to commit to your students of, being a high level person that you can come to over and over and over again, so that they, continue to buy, continue to stay with you, and, continue on that relationship. So the brand obviously had a huge reason, and our commitment to being a level 10 company and putting high quality information was really kind of like the reasons why I think we grew so fast, and we are continuing to grow really, really quickly.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing the story. And I actually had no idea how you guys all put it together and what your main, marketing was. So that's really interesting, the webinars and Facebook ads and stuff.
Yeah.
So are you, like, obviously, right, things continue to evolve in our industry day by day, moment by moment. So are you guys just constantly tweaking things and testing new ways and all that stuff?
Yeah. So one of the things that, and again, like, and you'll hear from what I think we'll probably get into the authenticity part. Like, we just follow what we've learned. Like, so I obviously grew up with a father who is a teacher, and I love to learn from him and follow the principles that I know work specifically and do really, really well. So one of the formulas that, like, I've always lived by, and now that we're in businesses, I think is so important, I think anyone can really take from it, is this formula that is called action, feedback, correction. And it's basically just taking an action, getting feedback. Did it work? Did it not work? If it didn't work, then you make a correction, and then you take again an action. And again, what you'll do is, if you keep getting that feedback after the action of what's working, what's not working, and you at least make that correction, then there's no reason why you'll never succeed at the level you want to succeed at, because you are being corrective in what you're doing. If it's working, keep doing it, obviously. If it's not working, well, you got to make some sort of adjustment. So yeah, in our company, obviously we had to, we had the plan, and plans never go as planned. So you have to make adjustments, and some things work, some things don't work. But in general, we saw our vision of, like, this is what we wanted. This is our funnel of what we want to do it. And this is what we believe is going to work based on experience of what he's had and experience of what I had as well. So we kind of had that clue of what it was, is just kind of like finding those missing pieces and making the tweaks, like you're saying, and really making those corrections, to our success level, and continuing to make the correction, because the market changes fast, and especially online. And one of the things that we see really quickly is audiences mature really quickly. And so they understand that what you're doing, if you continuously do the same thing over and over again, and you're not evolving, you're just doing it, they start to get used to that really, really easy. Just like how most people are like, I don't even see banner ads anymore. So, you got to make corrections. You got to keep pushing yourself. You got to keep evolving and growing with your customers as well.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love that you touched on that their customer base is maturing quicker and quicker and all of that, because that's a good reminder for everybody. And
it is, yeah.
Evolving and keep it fresh. So let's dive into, like, authenticity. And I love that this is your topic, because it's a huge deal, especially as it relates to things like joint venture marketing and finding affiliate partners, promoting other people's stuff, all that stuff. So can you talk about what is the importance of authenticity in joint venture marketing?
So I think authenticity, if you can live by it, like, if you can really, like, make it part of your go-to, like, if you just ask the question, am I being authentic in what I'm doing? Is this being real to me? Is this being my best self, putting out this specifically? I think you're already going to be above a lot of the competition that you're going to go into, because there's a lot of great things going on and a lot of not so great things going on. And I know a lot of people are looking to make some good money and, take the fastest way to success. But, if you want to be in business, you want to be in business for a long time, you have to think about long-term, not short-term. And being authentic to yourself means that you sometimes going to have to be giving up the short-term rewards and gratification to get that long-term success. So when you think about authenticity in general, it really relates to all parts of your business. And it really starts with, your customers. We call them students. And And that's where the authenticity really, really needs to start, because these are the people that are going to trust you. These are the people that are going to listen to you. These are the people that are going to, be the people that help you succeed as a joint venture, and help you succeed long-term as a business as well. So it really starts with being honest with them and being yourself with them, and just being in integrity with those people, those customers. Just what you say needs to get done. Your word needs to become law with these people so that they can really trust you in what you're doing. And then, so if you start with that, then you've already built this great relationship with them. They know, like, and trust you. Then you can start going to joint ventures and people, and you can start doing the same things with them. You start being very transparent with joint ventures. This works. This doesn't work. This is something that I feel comfortable promoting. This is something that I don't feel comfortable promoting. Here's a really funny story for you. So my dad, T. Harv Eker, has a brand, obviously. And when we were starting this business, he looked at me and pointed very sternly and said, "You better protect my brand or else." Like, basically, like, coming at me like, "I've worked really hard to build this brand. You better freaking protect it." Mm-hmm. And so me, he can be very intimidating for anyone that knows him. And so me kind of shitting my pants at the time was like, oh my God, I have to run this business and I have to protect this guy's brand. Like, what if I screw it up? So being over the top, what we did is we created something that I don't think any joint venture or team or person I know has a policy like this. And when I tell people about this policy, they're like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, but people love that we do it. So we created this policy that basically we hired one person, and they are our target market. They're students of ours. So they're actually people that buy our own stuff, our audience. We hired them to review and take products that our joint ventures will want us to promote. So we'll give it to them to review it, or I'll review it if I really, really am interested in it, something like that. And they'll actually grade the product from A, B, C, D, or F. And if it's not a B or higher, we automatically throw it out. We automatically say, this is not worth it for our audience, at least, and we need to be true to ourselves. So that's the first step. The second step is the most important thing. And I think a lot of people lose sight of this because but it's like the most important part to it. We ask the person, would you take your hard-earned money and buy this product? Would you really take the money that you earn from reviewing this? And if you're interested in it, obviously, would you buy the product? If it's not a hard yes, then again, we throw it out. Mm-hmm. If it's not something that says yes, then again, why would we put that out to our students if this person won't even like it? Now, you might say, well, that's only one person's opinion. And I get that. That's fine. But again, we're looking at this person saying, like, we're telling them from an objective point of view, if you were like in our audience, in generalities, would you feel comfortable doing this? And a lot of the time with a lot of the great partners that we have, it is a hard yes. Like, yeah, I got some amazing results. I would 100% do this. But sometimes we have to make that hard choice where it's like, this is not something that we're okay with. Please let us know when you have something else. We just don't think it's a good fit. And doing that really, really helps us get great results and really builds not just shallow partnerships, but really long-term partnerships, because we know we're promoting good stuff. And then when they come back to us, they know that we're true and we're a professional company that really won't just push whatever out to win a launch or reciprocate or, just make an extra dollar kind of thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is, yes, going to a whole new level of that. So how many people do you have that you hire to review these programs?
So usually it's about one or two. And then we have our joint venture manager as well. So we have about 3 people, and they kind of talk around it. And if there's any issues, and if it's something that like I personally want to get into, then I will take the program. A lot of the stuff that like is strategy or something that is more business oriented, I'll actually do the program and test it out. So if we're promoting like something on the coaching side or a strategy on like how to get more clients as a coaching, well, we have part of that in our coaching. So what I'll do is I'll go through it, I'll take some of the script, we'll work it and see if it actually works. If it works for our own business, then when I'm writing the emails to our audience, it makes it like, okay, well, here's what I did, A, B, C. This is the results I got, A, B, C. If you want this, here's a great recommendation for you to get started with it. It just makes the whole process so much easier versus like having to like really figure out how to create a narrative and how to create a hook with this something that you don't even know what it is. And it's so easy to smell someone who's just like pushing something like a copy and paste. Like we're all on the same list. We all know the same people. It's no secret anymore. Like you gotta be different. You gotta be unique. You gotta be, you gotta be you. You gotta be you. And that's what your people are really coming for is you, yourself. So don't go away from that. That's what they like. That's what they want. And the more that you do that, the more that you're going to do better, and the more that people are going to love you for it, and the more that you're going to build great relationships with you.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. That has not come up yet at all in the world of different ways of unique ways of really being different, standing out, really making sure that those products are something that you would buy, your target audience would buy. I love it. So thank you for sharing that. So do you have any like JV success stories in general, either in the direction of people obviously, promoting you promoting them, that kind of stuff that you could share with us?
Okay. So one of the things that I think was our biggest success. So again, we're a pretty new company. So joint venture wasn't a strategy that we went into first. So I know that with a lot of people, especially people that maybe don't have a brand or other decisions you might make, you might say, and it's been told that joint venture is a great way to grow your company fast and get out there fast. And it's true. It's an amazing strategy to use. We chose not to do that at first. So we're relatively new to the joint venture world, but we've had a lot of success over the last year and a half doing it. And so we had one smaller launch, but this year we had a bigger launch where we invited a lot of our big joint ventures that we had really successful promotions with, cross promotions and things like that. And just from the good relationships that we had, and obviously great name and great product, and really being very professional and prepping everyone and making sure that it was easy for them to promote us. We did about 65,000 leads in a week and, made almost $1 million on a launch, which was awesome, right? It was like, whoa, that's great. But for us, again, like joint venture isn't the most important thing, but those leads are great for us because we have a lot of stuff. So those leads have already surpassed like $2.5 million in a few months. So we were just from that joint venture starting with that joint venture, we've already done extremely, extremely well with what we have in a very short amount of time. I would say that's probably one of our biggest success stories because, a lot of partners decided to promote us extremely, extremely hard because they know how strict we are with our joint ventures. And again, this is what makes us different as partners is we have policies. We actually stick to our policies. So one is our grading policy, which is a tough one to get by. The second one is we only promote our top 10 joint ventures, no matter what. Or if we're like doing an awesome interview, we'll send out to our list and doing something like that. But what we'll do is we only promote like solo, like go deep, go hard, create big campaigns, do lots of content, put my team behind it, put our own money behind it for our top 10 people. And the reason why is because, again, we are have our own stuff. We have a lot of our own programs. So JV for us is like almost like a bonus. We consider it. It's the cherry on top of the sundae for our company. So it allows us to be strict with who we promote and very exclusive with who we promote. So we only promote our top 10. And so people are very competing for the top 10. And that's why I think people pushed us extremely hard. And I think that's, one of the reasons why we do really good. Yeah.
Right. You're so wanted. See,
we make it like that.
So, you mentioned like all the success you guys have had as a result of getting obviously lots of leads from joint ventures, and you've been able to turn those leads into sales and, and build those relationships. Could you share a little bit about that, and how do you guys go about like massaging that new relationship with a new lead, and how do you go about that?
Totally. So when we think about like our marketing on a per month basis, we think about engagement and we think about promotions, like a sale and stuff like that. So our goal, hopefully, as best as we can, is every email that we send has some sort of value to your life. We want you to have some sort of takeaway from it so that you feel like you don't want to miss an email from us. And I think that's a really big play that a lot of people miss, is that they don't and maybe they miss it, maybe they don't. But I know that our response to our emails is a lot higher than I think a lot of people get, because like our people reply back to us, our people send us notes, our people are very active on our blogs, the content that we give them. So we do plan. One of the biggest things that we do is we create a plan for after launch. And that's, I think, one thing that people do not do, or maybe they do, and I just haven't really heard of it. But we plan on a engagement campaign after, to get all the new people that said no, because most people say no, to get them excited about who we are. So we'll send them some of our best content. We'll do a challenge. We did, after the May one, I did a no complaining, 7-day no complaining challenge, 7 days on Facebook Live. We had like almost 19,000 people sign up for it. It was freaky for me, but it was awesome. And I send the emails. It comes from me. The training's from Harvard, but everything as far as copy comes from me. So my goal was how do I build this relationship with the people, and how do I get them a result? And I think if you at least focus on getting them one result, or at least one person a result in your email or some takeaway, I think that's the best way to massage them into obviously going through different purchasing paths. The other part that is just coming from like an educational background. Like if educational standpoint, if you're going to educate them, like you're going to teach them about something, and they're going to if they're interested, want to know more about how to learn or advance or grow from there. So it's like a very natural process. You're not trying to force anything. You're just giving different opportunities about great stuff that you hopefully have, that you can then move your people through, and you kind of let them choose depending on what you have. Now, if you only have one product, then it's a great time to get joint ventures, right? You find what's the next step with your program. What's the complementary thing that people are missing from your one program, and then you use joint ventures to do that. You find partners to let you promote their stuff, because it really does help your buyers. And that's a great way of progressing people through a sales funnel and also helping them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what about like relationships with joint venture partners? You've talked a lot about, right, the relationship that you're building with your clients, with your customers, your target market, and how important that is. How about the importance of building relationships with people that your top 10, or people who might be in your top 10 or whatever?
Yeah, ignore them completely. Don't talk to them. No, it's obviously it's important. I mean, I always like to say, like, what works best for you? Like when you have a friend that never calls and then one time calls and wants something for you, like what's your response, right? And that's how we like to treat our top 10, as like friends. Like, so, what would we feel comfortable with? And, so what we do is, send sometimes on a Friday, which we're doing this today on a Friday, like send a quick note. Hey, how you doing? I'm just thinking about you, and hopefully we can meet up soon. Just making conversation, keeping in loop, like, hey, we have an opening coming up this way. I want to get you involved, and, putting yourself out there versus like trying to take. So again, I think it's just like, so many people just like miss the concept of like all their life is like in business is separate, and it's not. It's very similar. Like things that work for you specifically in your own life also work for business. So if you don't like being treated a certain way as a customer, then why would your customer like being treated that specific way? As a partner for someone else, if you don't like being treated a certain way, then don't do that to other people, right? Do what you want. Do what's going to work best for what you would do. Again, coming back to your authentic self, being authentic, what works for you. I'm drinking out of this cool mug right now. I don't know if you can see it. It says that I am unstoppable.
Oh, yes. Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
I just got this in the mail from a joint venture, which is really funny. And it's my new mug, and I love drinking out of it. And this is fun stuff that people send because they want to give you gifts. They want to keep you on top of their mind. And I think, again, it just really comes down to, a relationship you want to build with them. A lot of these people, because we're new, I've never actually met any of them, but we have Skype calls, we talk a lot, and I try to come up with good campaigns for us to do together as a team versus you're a different company and we're a different company, and we're just promoting each other to promote each other, which I think a lot of people tend to do.
Right. Yeah. And I think that, the kinds of relationships you're talking about, it really truly does. And in my experience too, like you're building a group of friends, you're building a family, even depending on what your definition of family is. Right. And it's so much fun to have these people, and you have each other's backs, and you can really develop these amazing relationships that absolutely there I find that like the line between friendship and business often is completely blurred, and it's all just ends up being the same thing at the end of the day. And the thing about like treating others how you want to be treated, it's really like what we learned in kindergarten.
Right, exactly.
It's back to the basics,
It always is back. It always is the basics. The people that I find struggle are the people that are so stuck on advanced concepts and advanced strategies, and always trying to say that the basics is just too basic. And the reason that they struggle is because they don't do the basics well. And that's why too many people don't do well, because they just think they're above it. And if you just focus on the basics of just normal stuff, common logic, basics, you're going to do far better than people who are thinking let's do this crazy thing over here. It just doesn't really work for.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be so complicated, right?
It really doesn't.
Fancy schmancy, glittery, whatever thing over here that's so much better than the simple stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the things that I want to ask you about that you talk about in your work is offering a bonus on the first sale. So why is that important? What is that? How does that work in your business?
So this relates more to affiliate marketing versus joint venture marketing. So one of the things in joint ventures that you'll find from a lot of people that we don't do is they bonus stack. And this is a really great, really great strategy for a lot of people. They come up with all these different bonuses. They give bonuses for, if you buy my product through my link, then I'm going to give you all these bonuses. And that's a really great thing for them to do. The problem that we see with that is just like anything, like a dog or people, you train them with the habitual stuff that you do. And if you are doing that consistently, then that puts you at a position where you now have to bonus the crap out of anything that you do to get them to buy, versus just buying the product with, something that could be relatable. So, something normal, like a regular bonus, not $25,000 worth of it. So, for some people that's great and it's really good. For us, we don't really do that. So what we do is we came up with a different strategy for affiliates. Now for us, affiliates are our students, are people who really want to promote our stuff to their friends, their families, or people like that. And what we thought about it, and the mentality was, okay, if we can get 100 affiliates, and we can get 100 affiliates to make one sale, that's 100 new sales. That's a lot. That's a lot of sales. If we can get 1,000 affiliates to make one sale, that's 1,000 new sales. Well, if you're charging $200 per sale, that's like $200,000 right there, right? So, if you think about it, to one sale. So our goal was like, okay, well, how do we get them to get that one sale? And our goal is to incentivize them. What do we need to do to get them to get that sale? What that does is it shows them that it's not that hard to make a sale. and it's fun for them, and it also gets them into the momentum of moving forward with it. So a lot of the times after that first sale, second sale will come very quickly. And that's the point that we do with that, is we just offer that incentive. And sometimes we run contests for the month where we basically have different tiers. And if you hit the tier, you get something specific, like 3 sales, 5 sales, stuff that's easy. I find that so many people go for the big guns right away, the JVs. But sometimes their best people to promote them is word of mouth marketing. Again, back to the basics. And people who've taken your programs, got great results, love promoting your stuff. So let them help you. And they love doing it, and make it easy for them. So sometimes I find that that's a great place to start, so that you can show that you've got this proven track record, that you're not the only one that needs to push the program or promote the product to make a sale. Other people have done that. And then now you have kind of this track record to use, say, listen, we've done really, really well with these stuff. If you need metrics, this is some of the stuff that they've done. And, why don't you give us a try, kind of thing. So that's the whole concept about the bonus on the first sale, is just incentivize your affiliates, incentivize people that buy from your students to make a sale, to get that momentum going.
So do you guys actually actively go after affiliates and building your affiliate network that is separate from the JV world on its own?
We do.
Okay.
So we have, so basically when they complete the program or during the program, we'll ask them if they're loving the program. And if they are loving, just like an app on iTunes, please write me a review, right? So if they're loving it, we ask them either to tell us what's going on. And if they are really, really loving it, we basically say, would you want to promote this program? Like, do you want to share this program with your friend? We basically say, do you want to share this program with your friends, coworkers, or family, anyone that you have in mind? And if they click to kind of do that, then we know to then reach out to them, basically saying, hey, this is the process. It's super easy. Just send them to Harv's web class, which you took. So you already know what it's like. And when you send someone there and they make a sale, we'll give you a commission. We'll also give you a free program or something like that. So
do most of those affiliates, or do they have lists of their own? Or are they people who aren't necessarily online business builders, or?
It can be a mix of both. Our demographic's a little bit older, so a lot of them don't have lists. A lot of them don't have this online space. You do get some, and some people will say that leverage is not the best, but I do find that the people that they bring in, the people that do it, and if you kind of do hold their hand and have the time to do that and give them some trainings or host a call once a month, you kind of build this army of people who are really, really into promoting you on a consistent basis. And that's one thing that's different from the JV world, is you have to continuously find people to slot you in. When you have an affiliate army, you're kind of consistently moving forward with that affiliate army. You kind of have this group of people that are willing to do it on an ongoing basis, and there's no slotting you in. It's just, okay, this is what's going to happen. Now, the results are very different. So that's why we have both of them, because the affiliate army can do really, really good, but it's going to take more work to consistently grow that and nurture that. A joint venture, let's just say one of our top partners is Brian Tracy. Harv and him they spend every Brian's birthday together in Maui, so they're very good friends. I've known Brian since I was 5 years old, so it's fun to be able to promote them. So Brian, when he promotes us, it's a very different result than our whole army. When Brian promotes us and his team, they'll send 10,000 leads in a week, and we'll make $50,000 or something like that. So it's very, very different. But there's not many Brians on earth. There's only a few of them, right? And they also have their own businesses. So when you get to that, getting to that point is awesome, right? It really helps you when you get to that point. But when you're not at that point, there's a lot of other things that can really help too, and really can help your business thrive. And you don't necessarily need the big guns to be super successful. You can have lots of different things that will make you successful once you build one at a time and get it systemized and making it work. So we started with our own products, and we started with affiliates. Then we said, okay, we're ready for joint ventures.
Got it. I love that you tied that whole piece into, because, while this conference is honing in on joint ventures, I think the affiliate marketing and getting that there's a difference between the two, first of all, and getting what you can do in creating that kind of grassroots community that loves your program and is transforming their life or whatever it is that you're selling, and getting that they can go out and get their whole family to sign up for something. And then there is another small community built within that. And I think that's inspiring to me when I hear that. I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we have now, I think we're pushing almost 3,000 affiliates. So it's a big rocking community there. It's just, we have a lot of customers, right? So, our goal is to get them to be raving fans. And the best way to get them to be raving fans is get them results. And the more results they get, the more they're willing to talk about it. In the Facebook groups, when they talk about it and give results, we say, why don't you talk about this to other people if you really like it? And, some people are scared and don't want to do it. That's fine. And some people are like, hell yeah, let me do this. This is great. Like, I would love to do it. And that's where the incentive kind of comes in, where it's like, if you do this, I'm going to give you access to one of our other programs. And they're like, whoa, I already love your program, so I want this one, So it's like kind of like getting them to push a little bit outside their comfort zone, which is a lot of what we teach in our business. And it's a good cycle that we have going on that you can easily implement, because most of the people probably listening are having transformational type products. Like they're teaching people to do something. So if you can teach them and they get that result, then you have more promotion buddies than you think.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, you mentioned Brian Tracy, and I just want to touch on the people listening right now. If the people are just beginning, or they're, maybe they have a list of 500 people or 5,000 people, or they're, just kind of in the beginning phases, if they don't have access to Brian Tracy, right? If they don't have access to, Mind Movies and all these people, right? Or if they do, they probably might get a no at this point. So what do you recommend for the people just getting started or in the beginnings of their business in using joint ventures? Like how do you start?
How do you start? Okay. So, there's the easiest way to do it, which is getting results for someone else. So like I said, we only do our top 10. So if you can get into our top 10 somehow, and you're consistently promoting us, because most of our joint ventures, again, are bigger joint ventures. So they slot us in throughout the year, maybe once, maybe only twice. So if you're someone who will consistently promote someone, then get results, then you show up on their radar. And you do that consistently, you start to show up on their radar. So, and then people start giving you a chance. Like if someone did end up out of our top 10, but they promoted us 5 times and they keep trying, they're staying in communication, they're trying to build a relationship, I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to give them a chance, as long as they pass that grade scale of, that's the most important thing for the product, right? So we'll give them a shot, because, we want people to succeed, and it doesn't matter how big or small you are, as long as your product is really, really great. So I think just understanding first, you have to have an awesome product. You have to have something that I'm going to say, damn, this is sweet. I cannot wait to share this with my audience. If it's something then, you're going to have a lot harder time, and it's going to be tougher to get into the door with some of those people. So results really are really big, and going first, for us, I didn't even care about people promoting us. That wasn't on my radar. I never asked either. So when we first started going out, like I said, we had, and this is the next point I'll get to, we had lead flow from a different channel. We had Facebook leads. So we had leads coming in from different places. So my business wasn't basically sustained from joint venture. It was sustained on its own, and it did well by itself. When we decided to go into joint ventures, it was like we had this system, we had this baseline of how we were doing. Now joint ventures is just adding on top of that system. And again, I think that's where a lot of people tend to fall short is because they make joint venture their business, and they rely on joint ventures. And again, I don't think I don't know. I personally don't have experience with that being a sustainable business. I know it definitely can help you grow. I know it definitely can help you do extremely, extremely well in a fast period of time. But if your business is reliant on a specific strategy like joint ventures, then you're reliant on other people. So that is, I think, a problem for us. So we started with Facebook, then we moved into different ways. So again, having like different stuff going on is very helpful for joint ventures. And then the other part is just like, you don't have to go for the big guns. You just go for something that complements what you're doing. You go for something that actually is going to be like the next step for what you want to promote. So when they buy one product, what's the next step for them to do if you only have one? And then coming up with people saying like, hey, like your business or your product is perfect for my students. Can I promote it for you? And people, and don't ask for a reciprocation or don't ask for anything, just promote it and see how it does with your students, and then go from there. I think it's just like, be fearless and go for it and do what you can, but don't expect the results, and definitely don't expect results if you haven't even attempted to promote them once. One of the things that we basically will shun off right away is someone basically with no relationship at all, nothing, will send us a proposal of why this telesummit is perfect for Harv. And it's like, we don't know you, and Harv's time is extremely valuable. And I'm sorry, but like, that's just not really going to work for us. And that's the normal response you'll probably get if you just go in for the kill. So what is the way of just, again, what do you personally like? What works for you? What would you say yes to? What's the irresistible offer that you're going to make to your JV partner or potential partner to go in there? Again, meeting people, like we were introduced together. So meeting people with common, relations and relating to them and just having a conversation with them and kind of just being on the same page goes so much farther than just sending an email. So getting to events is probably a really good way. I don't have very much experience with that, again, because I'm not going to lie, we have a brand. It's been a lot easier for us to get to the big guns because he's built this. But, that's what you do. You meet people, you have a drink with them or just talk with them. You eat dinner with them. You find out about their business. You give them support. I remember being with Ted McGrath and we met at Traffic and Conversion, and we knew each other just from the industry, and we sat next to each other in a talk, and we're both taking notes of this thing, and we looked at each other like, this is crazy, like, let's go get some food because this is like, there's no way that we can do it. We went out for dinner and we started talking about different strategies that worked with each other. Next thing you know, I implemented his stuff. We promote each other. We both did really, really well, and that's how a joint venture was made, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing as like, how do you get on a date? How do you do anything with another relationship with a person? You don't go in and start making out with the person right away or go into a home run, right? So don't do that in business, and don't do that in joint venture. Go in and be relatable, try to relate to them, be whatever, just don't go for the kill right away. I think that will be very, very helpful.
Definitely don't do that with a date, people. Just don't take that and don't do that.
Yeah. I'm married, so I definitely don't do that either.
I am happily partnered and don't do that either. But everyone listening who's single, you don't go in for the kill right away. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, Jesse. Well, this has been so much fun, and I find you a wealth of information and authentic in how you're portraying everything, and I love it. So thank you so much for everything. I feel like we could talk for forever, but we can't. So I want to actually remind everyone that there's a button, depending on if you're watching the video or listening to the audio. The button is right beneath us, and it takes you over to a page on Jesse's site. Can you talk a little bit about that offer that you have for everybody?
Sure. So I think from this interview and talk of one of the biggest things that you've probably heard me talk about is foundation, business strategy, principles, and not really tactics that like kind of don't only work for a short period of time. We thought of it like as a more of a strategy, like what is our business strategy? How do we create this machine, this business machine, and really, set it up in a way that's going to allow us to create wealth in our business. And we've been able to do that really, really quickly. And what we have is a really amazing program called $1 Million Business Secrets. It's how to create wealth in your business in 3 years or less. Because we teach people that it shouldn't take you more than 3 years to create wealth if you do it the way we teach you, the way that you set up correctly. And as you saw, we went from 0 to 4 million in 2.5 years. So we beat it by 0.5. And it's actually, you never start with 0. It's always negative. No one ever says that, right? You don't have income coming in. You have expenses going out. So it's probably like minus 50,000 to 4 million. But you set up your business the right way. And I think that's what I think a lot of people do incorrectly when they're starting out, is they kind of just learn on their own, which is fine. And they go through the experiences and the trial and error, and they don't make the corrections, and they never really learn the right way to, set your business up for wealth. And I think it prevents them for earning wealth, and they become either self-employed for their whole life, or they are the business and they can never step out of the business. They never systemize it. They waste a lot of money because they don't know how to negotiate, and they don't know like the actual principles that are going to create wealth in business. And that's what we've created. Is we have Eker, who has 4 modules. It's one of our most popular programs. It's very, very reasonable, very, very reasonable in price. And he's going to take you through the 4 different stages, or the 4 parts that he believes are the most impactful for creating business and for creating wealth. So you have our guerrilla wealth tactics, where are talking about funnels and high ticket versus low ticket, and talking about actual revenue, expenses, and profit, which people forget. Like they think of it this revenue, but like profit's really what matters, right?
Right.
Then you have negotiations. Like great negotiators save a lot of money, which helps your business. And it's all about a win-win relationship. Then we actually talk about marketing, like how do we set up a marketing funnel? And the last thing is, the biggest problem for people is coming up with ideas, I think. So we created this cool name, very snazzy, how to generate $1 million ideas every 60 seconds. And we have a template for, getting people to assess everyday life and see that this can actually be a profitable idea or a shitty idea. So those are the 4 modules, and we have that available as a special for doing this interview. And yeah, I appreciate you allowing us to be here. And it was super fun for me that I get to share this wealth of knowledge with people. I don't usually get to do that, like I told you earlier. So it's been very humbling for me, and I'm happy I was here.
You've totally nailed it. First of all, I think you've done a really great job, and obviously know what you're talking about, and being on the back end of all of this stuff for years. It's, you are such a crucial piece, and in teaching people exactly what you're teaching in this program, I think it's so key. So thank you for offering it at the super discount and everything. And it's definitely taking a look at what are your profits, right? It's not just about, oh, I grossed this much this year. Well, that's great, but
right. Is that going to pay your bills?
What's your actual net profit here? What are we talking about, right? Yes. So that is so key.
Yeah.
Awesome, Jesse. Well, yeah, everybody, again, quick reminder, that button is right beneath this video or the audio, depending on if you're watching it or listening to it right now, and head on over there and check it out. So Jesse, are there any last final insights, words of wisdom that you'd like to share before we wrap up today?
Well, first of all, thank you everyone for watching and sticking with us. I know that time is definitely, obviously, our most precious commodity, and just being here with us already shows me and Andy that you are one of those people that want to improve your life, that want to grow and be a special person, which 99% of the world doesn't. So you're already in this 1%. One of the things that I want to just relay is, one is be authentic, obviously. Just be yourself. Like, people like you for you. And if they don't like you, they can go screw off, right? So just be you. The second thing is, just do what works for you specifically, and that's going to work for other people as well. Like, what we like to say, put yourself in the student's point of views. What makes me feel good, and do that. And then the third thing is, just make sure you're having fun when you're doing it. Just keep it light, keep it calm. Don't take things too seriously. And just what we say is correct and continue your way to success. And just keep moving. Just keep moving. And that's kind of it. And thank you, Andy, for inviting me. I'm so happy I was here. This was really fun. And yeah, hopefully you invite me back for another one.
Absolutely. I've loved every minute of it. Thank you so much, Jesse. And thanks everybody for tuning in to this entire event and into this interview today. And all right, everybody, it is go time. Let's build a fortune together. Bye, everybody.